Do not go on that coffee date. Do not go on that boba date. Do not go meet that man for drinks. This man saw you, and his first initial thought wasn't, wow, I'd really love to get to know her over some dinner and a nice ambiance. He looked at you and said, Dunkin'? Starbucks? The amount of messages that I get from men that ask me if I like coffee.
Ugh.
No, bitch, I don't like coffee.
Ugh.
I actually hate it.
If these are the types of women that decline coffee dates, then it's an excellent filter. You must apply it. What, you want to end up with a woman like this? What man in his right mind would want to be around this woman for longer than the time it takes to bust a nut? Like, genuinely. A drink might be too long with this woman. Let alone a dinner. Just looking at her. Can you imagine, like, having to listen to her eat food too? Like, it's enough to listen to her move her mouth. It's too much. But can you imagine listening to her chomp away at food and shit? Having to listen to her opinions on stuff? Like, I don't actually know that she could do much more to come off more insufferable. Like, she's kind of maxed out in that area, no?
I would hate for him to walk out and leave, and then there's my misconnection that could be my husband. So I recently gave up on dating completely because I feel like there's literally nothing for me out there. And I guess Match Group got wind of this because they actually invited me to participate in their connection experience. So I'm going to have a series where you guys will follow me throughout the months. I'm going to try to do in real life dating. I'm also going to do connections on the app. I put the series in the highlights so you guys can follow along. I really want to get through my story because there's a guy that I saw at this coffee shop. So I have been going to coffee shops trying to make a connection, and it's so funny because this is me. Do y'all remember this viral video where I said, do not go on coffee dates? And here I am. I'm going to coffee shops trying to find... We love a full circle moment.
Okay, so then nobody should listen to what you say then. Because, like, the things you say, you don't actually mean.
But anyways, there's this guy, gorgeous, light brown tousled hair, chiseled jawline, polished, looks like he smells delicious, didn't see a ring on his finger. So, of course, I asked the barista, come here often? Because I've never seen him. And she's...
Just real quick, something I've been doing with a lot of women is when I look at them, I imagine them without the makeup.
Seen him before. Like, I have to talk to him. I'm not the type of girl to go up to guys. So I'm like, what do I even say to this guy? So it's do or die. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to shoot myself. Quick update on yesterday's coffee shop experience. I suggest that you guys watch part 1 of this series where I will be trying my hand at dating in real life. And then I'm going to try my hand at the Tinder app and see how that goes. So update on yesterday's experience. I did go back into the coffee shop and strike up a conversation with him. It went very well. I tapped him on the shoulder and I was like, hi, I introduced myself. My name is Veronica. We had a brief conversation. He's very well spoken, very charming. You know the guys that are charming without really having to try? That was him. Witty, funny, just all the vibes were there. But unfortunately for me, he is not available. He told me that he's in a relationship. They've been together for about 1.5 years now. They're doing the long distance thing. I didn't get his number because, first of all, he's in a relationship at the end of the day. So in conclusion, I don't think in real life.
How funny is it that she was rejecting guys who suggested they go to a coffee shop, and now she's getting rejected in coffee shops?
Life is for me. I'm putting myself in such a vulnerable state.
God.
It takes a lot of courage for someone to go up to somebody, especially as a girl, and then being let down on top of it. Even though he was really sweet about it, it's just uncomfortable, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna head over to the Tinder app and see how that goes for me. Hopefully I have better luck. So we'll see.
So we don't have to just imagine what she would look like without all that makeup. Here it is right here. It's just a completely different appearance. Women think.
If you end up choosing a guy who treats women who he does not find attractive differently, you will regret it. Ladies, you gotta listen to your ugly fat friends, okay? That was me being glib to get your attention, but for real, there is something to this where the less conventionally attractive friends can sense when a guy is rancid. My cute little petite feminine friends get hit on at bars much more than me when we're in a group.
Yeah, so this kind of just sounds like an ugly girl getting upset she doesn't have pretty privilege. Like there's pretty privilege, which is being treated with privilege, but just because you don't get pretty privilege doesn't mean you're being treated poorly. You're just not getting the pretty privilege.
I really get hit on when I go out alone. And the number of times my friends can't tell when a guy is absolute trash is astonishing to me. The least conventionally attractive woman in the group knows when that guy's rancid because he will treat us differently. He might ignore us. He might make fun of us if he's really, truly disgusting. And if the pretty friend...
So hold on. If he makes fun of them, he's truly disgusting. But if he ignores them, he's just disgusting.
That always gets hits on, needs that validation from men and doesn't do anything about it, doesn't tell him off, then yeah, that's a problem. And that woman, you should reconsider being her friend. You end up choosing a guy who treats women who he does not find attractive differently, you will regret it. You may be a mega babe right now. You may think that he worships the ground you walk on right now, but you cannot outrun time. You will age, and he may not like it. And then you're going to find out how he treats women.
Yeah, but there's a difference. Even if you do age, this man loves you. He's in a relationship with you. You're not some strange woman. He's slept with you. He's been with you for years. He loves who you are. Just because you get older doesn't mean he's just going to up and leave you and start treating you differently. I mean, he loves you. Like it's love. It's silly. This woman, like I don't know, the stuff these girls are saying just kind of reminds me of like the fat friend who, when her friend is getting hit on by a guy, she has to chime in and say she's not interested because she's coming from a place of bitterness. She wants the attention. She wants the pretty privilege. She wants to be hit on. He's not treating all of us equally. He's a misogynist. He's disgusting. He's ignoring me. Well, he's not interested in you. That's just the way these things go.
The taxi cab theory is from Sex and the City, and it's basically the idea that men see dating like taxi cabs, in that if a taxi has its light off, it's not looking to pick up any riders, and it doesn't matter how hard you try to flag it down, you're not going to get picked up. But when they decide they're ready to pick up a rider, they turn their light on and they pick up the first person that they see. Doesn't matter how long they've been waiting there. The first person that they see. So basically, with men, if they're not looking for a relationship, it doesn't matter how hard you try to tie them down, you're not going to win. But when they decide that they're ready for a relationship, pretty much that first girl is the one that they settle down with. So my suggestion is put your damn arm down and stop trying to hail a cab that has its light off. And honestly, I should probably take my own advice.
Yeah, I don't believe that to be true. And this also sounds like cope. I think this is some theory they've come up with to rationalize why they weren't able to get commitment from a man. I think it's somewhat true that if a man is not looking for a relationship, you're not going to be able to convince him. I think that's true. But the second part, if he is looking for a relationship, he's going to just hop into one with the first woman he meets. No, I don't believe in that. But also the thing is, like, if a guy comes across a woman who is truly unique and provides a lot of value and is truly wife material and is just very different from the other women in terms of femininity, doing things for him, not being a spiteful bitch, not being an entitled brat, not embodying what it means to be a modern woman, I think he's going to be more inclined to get into a relationship with that woman, even if he may be not looking for one at the time. Like if she's that rare and she's that unique and he thinks it's very unlikely I'm going to meet another woman like her, well, he's going to be more likely to get into a relationship with her, isn't he? The thing is, too, like with these women, you don't even know if you're the only guy she's seeing. So can you imagine you're not the only guy she's seeing. She's seeing a couple other guys, maybe even sleeping with these guys, and then you're also paying for her dinner. Call me crazy, but that doesn't sound great to me. That kind of makes me feel like a loser if I'm doing that. And yet, there will be plenty of men and plenty of women stating the opposite. Stating, no, it doesn't say anything about you as a man. It's what you're supposed to do. It's what your role is as a man in society. You're supposed to just swallow that, take it, And yes, pay for her food, even if you don't know that you're the only man she's seeing. And here's another thing. A woman who is going to tell you no when you suggest that the first date is going out and getting a drink, that woman who says no to that and insists on food or dinner, she's more likely to be sleeping with other men or dating other men. Because what she's doing is she's comparing you. Who's the biggest spender here? Who's more willing to shill resources for my time and attention? So it's like, that's just another reason. It's just, there is no better way to filter out women nowadays than suggesting like a low maintenance date. Nothing extravagant, nothing crazy, and see how she responds. I also think that there's a lot of women out there that would agree with me on this. And it's like a lot of them, they themselves probably don't want to spend a lot of time with a guy they don't really know. Like, it could be the same thing for them. What if they're not interested in the guy? Do they really want to spend that much time with him? So it just would make sense that people with common sense, it's like, it's a first date. You don't really know. It's like, this isn't Valentine's Day. We're not celebrating a 2-year anniversary. I don't know who you are. No, it's too big of an investment. And yeah, I think a lot of women would agree. And so that kind of tells me that the women who demand you do this, first dates, dinner dates, they have ulterior motives and probably think they're too good. They're too good for this. They're too good for just drinks. And that tells you enough about them.